All right. Well, I'm pleased to be joined by Justin Mayers, I guess former Buff. I mean, because you're heading now in draft prep, things like that. And first off, let's just go there. How's the draft prep going? I know you're here at CU because you're still working out with Coach Sessy, the new strength coach here. And you were texting me and say, hey, I'm a little late because Coach Sessy is putting us through the ringer today. So tell us about that first off. What it's been like working with him.
Well, I'm just blessed to be here and be able to train at this awesome school. Coach Sessy, I mean, he's just a vet. I mean, his experience and his knowledge of the game of conditioning your body and training to be to an elite level that you want to be at is just extraordinary. So, he's pushing me every day to the limit, but it's good. He has a lot of guys under his belt, so it's kind of uplifting, that what you're doing, if you trust the process, it'll pay off for sure.
Let me ask you a follow-up there because Buff fans are interested in Coach Sessy because he's the new strength coach. So what's something new that you're learning from him that you've never learned before in strength and conditioning, whether it was here at CU or previous stops you've been?
I think just truly like the mechanics of stuff, when you run, how to have your legs. He trained track at Miami for a long time. I found out, and it makes sense because I'm running faster now, and I'm starting to enjoy running, which as a lineman is crazy. So for sure, and just overall perfecting my body. My body is sore in places it hasn't been in a long time, so it's exciting.
Big guys like us don't like to run. No. So if you're liking running, he must be a miracle worker.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, he kind of he coaches you hard, he loves you hard, he's a fun guy to be around. There's never a dull moment. It's like you got to stay on your toes because you could be laughing one minute and the next moment, you're putting the work in. So it's a good environment.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, you obviously spent just one season here at Colorado after, some pretty good time at UTEP. And tell me about the year at Colorado. I mean, we got to chat with you a little bit during the season, but now that it's over and you've had a chance to reflect, what was it like being here at CU for 1 year?
I was just blessed for the opportunity. I mean, to be in this beautiful facility, the stadium, the crowd. Every week, Folsom was rocking and sold out. I mean, that's just something that you can only experience in first person. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for my time at UTEP, and being here, it was just a lot of experience, a lot of lessons, a lot of maturing, a lot of growth. I think Coach Prime and the coaches, for coaching me hard, believing in me in the right times, and just pushing me and kind of leads me into my next chapter of life.
Being here at Colorado, you guys went 9-4. Yeah. I know it didn't finish the way you wanted to. You wanted to be in that Big 12 title game. You wanted to win the Hula Bowl, things like that. So there was some disappointment, but I mean, a lot of really good positives. You guys, your group, made a difference here at Colorado. And what does that mean to you that you guys were able to help get Colorado kind of back on the map?
I think it just means a lot to be a part of any winning team. I mean, Colorado the year before, I think, we were 4-5, and then this year we were 9-4, like you said. And just going to the Hula Bowl and creating strides and helping Miss Peggy smile. So I think we made a lot of good strides. I think the chemistry, a lot of people know how strong we all grew throughout the season. I mean, whether it's from the quarterbacks, receivers, and us, and just, because we all were gut at the end of the day. Yeah. But I think the linemen, especially towards the end of the season, we had a camaraderie that was, undeniable. It was fun playing next to my boy Jordan and Cash and a couple of people. So it was definitely nothing I won't forget.
Yeah. Interesting year for the offensive line, in that O-line always takes a lot of heat, unless it's like this dominant, like Dallas Cowboys back in the day line. But, you guys obviously, it's up and down a little bit, and up and down for you. I mean, the lineup shifted a lot of times. Sure. What were the challenges that you had to go through to kind of, okay, I'm not in the starting lineup this week. This is different.
I think for sure. I mean, at UTEP I was, 3.5-year starter or whatever it was, and coming here and I started, all the way up until the season, and, got hit with a couple of games, which, was good. Adversity kind of makes us better, you know what I mean? And it actually helped me out a lot. I mean, not taking me out the starting role from left guard and learning how to play right guard efficiently, and I started playing center a little bit. So I think it was a blessing in disguise, even though in the moment mine was kind of in dull pain, but just learning how to play multiple positions, because when you get to the league, you won't just be playing one position, you know what I mean? So, and that translates a lot. So I'm kind of thankful for that in the end, because in the end I started the last 6 games or whatever, and I was part of a lot of good wins. The last game at Folsom, we blew out Oklahoma State, I think, 52-0, and being in the Hula Bowl, which is a place I always played at my previous school. So it was a lot of surreal moments I'm thankful for sure. Yeah.
How are you a better lineman today than you were a year ago when you were just starting your journey at Colorado?
I think way better. I think my knowledge of the game has increased for sure. The techniques and just the day-to-day, routine you have to have to become a pro. I mean, Coach Prime, he always prided himself on practicing hard and carrying yourself like a man and representing yourself on and off the field in a good manner. I think that kind of taught me a lot for sure, and especially being in this limelight at CU, being a player, especially O-line where the heat's on you every week. When we win, okay, we're good, we lose, man, with the O-line, so just rolling with it. I mean, because Kobe Bryant, the best players, they get hit with punches here and there. So, but I learned a lot for sure. I think now as a lineman, my mechanics are better. Just understanding defenses more, and certain workouts, how this benefits me, and taking my core and certain exercises to a higher level, especially when I played in the Hula Bowl and games like that for sure.
Yeah, and real quick before we move on to draft prep and Hula Bowl, for those that don't know, Justin's really ingrained himself in the CU culture, and like right from the beginning. I mean, the first time I met you was at a basketball game, a women's basketball game, and you've gone to a lot of basketball games, things like that. You supported a lot of other CU athletes, and how much fun has it been for you just enjoying the college experience here at Colorado?
I have to say you're right. This was the most fun year I've had in college. Like I think in a long time. I mean, being at CU, they have a lot of frats, a lot of college life that a lot of schools don't have, like especially I came from. Just the first game where we met, I was with Miss Peggy and Shador, and we watched the women's basketball game, and just seeing the energy, the passion the fans have for all their sports. That's something a lot of schools don't have. I mean, the women's basketball games are almost sold out, and they're loud, and it's just an atmosphere you want to be around. So I had a lot of fun cheering on the women's sports, men's basketball. I watched some lacrosse games with the women's team. It's just a good experience. You know what I mean? I mean, surrounded by mountains and just a culture that just wants to win and just enjoy the moment. So for sure.
One last thing before we move on to draft prep is you got a chance you mentioned Miss Peggy. You got a chance to talk to her a lot throughout the year. Tell me about her and kind of your relationship with her. And is she someone you'll never forget?
Miss Peggy, that is a true walking angel. I mean, I think she's 100 years old. Respect me if I'm wrong. I mean, since when I met her last year, I ran into her almost every week. I got her number. People don't know Miss Peggy. She's a flirtatious woman. She's awesome. I mean, she's so so quick with her mind and her words. And she's just a blessing to me. She gave me a lot of good advice, and seeing her at the games and where I'm at Pearl Street or whatever, just interacting with her, and just having good talks. I mean, she's seen a lot of life. I mean, 100 years is wow. You can only aspire to be like that. So Miss Peggy, she's a blessing. I heard about her a little bit before I came, but I truly got to firsthand experience her, and that was just something I won't forget. Yeah, for sure.
Well, she's certainly, chatting with her a couple of times. I mean, she genuinely cares about people when she's talking to you because, like, she always asks me, how's your family doing? How are your kids doing? So I'm sure she was doing the same thing with you. How's your family doing? All that.
She was asking, how's your mom and dad doing? Did you eat today? Like kind of like another mom. She was cool. And in the right time, she's like, be careful before I sit in your lap. Like, she's fun. She's really fun and a bundle of joy. I see why CU kind of rallies around her. Because she's – not just because of her image or her age, but just her character. You know what I mean? So I give her all the props for that for sure.
Well, she's awesome, and you got to help her get to the bowl game, obviously, and then after that you go on and do the Hula Bowl, and you did pretty well down there. And so tell me about that experience, being at the Hula Bowl and going through practices in front of scouts, but also playing in that game.
Yeah, so the Hula Bowl was an amazing experience. I mean, a lot of people know there was 200 scouts there, tons of GMs. So every practice, like Coach Prime always said, practice like it's a game. I really had to do that. And it paid off because you're on this. There's 200-yard fields. My field there was like 100 scouts. There's GMs like real life of the New York Giants, all these teams that you always want to play for, whatever team it is, and they're meeting with you every day after practice based off your practice performance. Right. So it was surreal. I mean, I really practiced as if it was a game. I mean, I got O-lineman standout of the week, which was a blessing, and I made a lot of good heads turn and a lot of good connections, kind of boosted my stock back up and helped me out a lot. Yeah. And Miss Cool Prime got to come down and see me practice, and, dog, I see you, dog. It was cool in Florida. It was a great experience. I made some good connections for sure.
That's awesome. And the draft prep continues. I know 4 of us got invited to the Combine this week. Those of you that didn't, I know it's disappointing, but at the same time, there's only a certain number of spots. But give me your thoughts on, like, not getting to the Combine, then how do you react to that?
I think my life in a football perspective has always been like an underdog story. I've always had to work my way up, whether it was, making out of high school and getting an offer, UTEP and hitting the portal and becoming the number 1 guard or whatever. I've always had to grind for what I've gotten. So, I think this is kind of just another thing to my story. It kind of worked out perfectly. I signed with the agency not too long ago, Young Money Sports and APA Sports, a great company, Lil Wayne and them. And I'm excited with that. That helps a lot too. Yeah. But just being here, you have me Swayze and the coaching staff here, I still get little nuggets here and there, and I get to be around the people that kind of push me to this point a little bit more. Yeah. It's exciting. I think just realizing the vision and all of it. I think it'd be good as I'm here training every day with Swayze. I can see what the guys at the combine do and see how I measure up compared to that. Luckily, Shiloh's a nut, but he was able to get the combine people to bring down the 40-yard dash lasers. So we're here training with like the same equipment that the people at the combine are using every day. So, it's surreal. So it's kind of motivating. It's exciting because our pro day was to have all 32 teams here. So I think we're going to have a bigger day than the combine itself. So it's exciting.
I have to ask you: did you get the $200 from Shiloh? Did you win the 40-meter dash or the 40-yard dash challenge?
No, I just stayed out of that one. People were jumping for that. It was pretty impressive to see. It kind of shows like a lot of people, oh, I can run that fast, and then see, people around run and give them try and be like, wow, you guys really have to like run and work hard. I'm like, yeah, we have to. It was funny to see Kango and them do that. It was cool.
Yeah. I mean, there was a girl from the track team that on the video that she actually won it.
Yeah, she did. Them track athletes down there, it's cool because Swayze, when we do our warm up and do certain conditionings, like the track guys are doing the same thing and the girls. So it's like we're all kind of building a little close knit family down there. So we're all kind of pushing each other, and it's a good environment down there for sure.
Yeah. Well, the impressive part that she did it was that she's a distance runner, not a sprinter. So
track athletes, man, they're underrated. They're real athletes. I mean, to run for an hour straight, I watched them when we're working out. I'm like, my God, they're still running. So it's a fun environment.
Yeah. So as far as you're concerned, you got the pro day coming up. I think next month or in April, I believe. March and April. So there's a couple of those coming up. What's the biggest thing you want to show scouts to show that, hey, I'm your guy. You need to have me on your team.
For sure. Well, luckily I have a big resume. I mean, UTEP, I had a lot of great seasons, and a lot of the guys in I'm in there are in the league now with $1 million contracts. So I was part of that group, and I think I just have the bigger platform now with CU. So I think now just showing my true athleticism. That was one thing at the Hula Bowl. They were surprised when they see me run or do certain blocks or combo blocks. You're like, wow, you didn't even know you could do that. So, and especially this agency, they're giving me really good feedback, which is exciting. So if I can go out there to show my athleticism and show that heart that I have, it'll all work out. I could be drafted potentially. Yeah.
Awesome. And then last thing for you, you mentioned Jordan Seaton. That's a guy that Buff fans love. I mean, I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that steps into a leadership role on this team, even as a sophomore. Do you see that out of him?
Jordan, that's my little brother, man. He's a nut. I mean, his age is young, but his mindset is way older than his age, obviously. But I mean, he's the last of us from this past season. I think he's gonna do what he can to keep the morale going and to keep that hunger and that mindset some of us had. I mean, it was good just to mentor him, just be around him. I think he grew a lot. I grew a lot being around him also, and mature myself, helping him grow, giving him some life lessons that he doesn't have to go through, because if you can go around this path, because I went through all this, it'll save you some heartache. So I'm excited to see his progress in this next season for him. Yeah.
Another guy I ran into right before we did this was Chauncey Gooden, one of the freshmen coming in. I mentioned I was going to see you, and he goes, "Oh, that's my guy." You've seen some of these new guys that are here now too. Tell me about the offensive line for this next year. Like more than just Jordan. Like, does it impress you? I mean, do you like what they've got coming back?
I think it was cool what you're saying, Ryan, because the Hula Bowl, not the Hula Bowl, but the bowl game in San Antonio was good because the younger guys from high school like Chauncey and them got to come and practice with us and see how college practice a little bit was. And it was a little bit easier because it's the end of the season, but they got to see a little bit of the grind and get some good questions off towards me. I mean, Chauncey, I'm excited for him. I mean, this whole new O-line, I think it's all up to them. They can write their own ticket. Bunch of young guys, and Coach Gunner is a great man. I love Coach Gunner, so I think they'll have a good season. They follow Coach Gunner's rules and buy in. I think they'll have a good system going on for sure.
Yeah. So you keep saying things, and that brings me to one other question. So this might be the last one, but because you mentioned Gunner, a lot of Buff fans, they look at, Coach Holt leaves, Gunner White. It's like, we don't know much about this guy. Tell us about Gunner White, and what you think of him stepping into that role, and also George Hageman.
First off, Coach Gunner's a black belt. A lot of people don't know he's a black belt. He's a fun guy to be around. I think he's been with them at Jackson State also. I mean, Coach Gunner, when I was hitting the portal, he was offering to help me keep my car at his house until I moved in. He's just a great man and father figure. But I think he's hungry. Coach Loho was a great coach as well, great man. Happy for him. He's at Mississippi State. But Coach Gunner, I'm excited for him. He's hungry. He's going to coach the hell out this O-line because this is his chance to really shine, his first ever, I believe, full O-line coaching position. So I'm all excited for Coach Gunner. I support him. I'm rooting for him. I'll probably start training with him in a few weeks and get my pro day football drills going. Right. But I think this O-line, they're in good hands. He's going to love them hard. He's going to teach them a lot about the game. He's super smart. Yeah. He opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. I thought I knew, which I didn't. So he's a great coach. And Coach George, Coach G, that's my guy. I be messing around with him all the time. I be putting him in headlocks. I have to jump up to get to him. Right. He's like 6'7" or just huge. Nah, me and him are always jumping and jiving, but he has a lot of knowledge too. I think it's just all up to these young guys to buy in. They have the facility, they have the resources, they have the structure. Now they just have to buy in. That's one thing I learned this season too. Just truly buying into the new way of coaching, and it ultimately paid back off, and I was playing again. So I'm excited for them. It's not a young group of coaches, a really hunger some coaches. Yeah. People think, we haven't heard about them, but no, they're not young. They're really experienced. They've been around the game a long time. Yeah. Coach Gunner played every position. Coach G played every position, tackle, guard. He played a little bit of center. He mentored me a lot during the season when I was playing 3 positions. I was like, man, Coach, this is a lot, and me and him were talking a lot. So they're in great hands for sure.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're going to see you at Pro Day. We're also going to see you in the NFL sometime soon. Yeah, so, it was good to get to know you this year at CU. I know you're going to do great things. So good luck to you in the future. And thanks for giving me some time today. I appreciate it.